What is going on, YouTube? That's Akuma1921 here, coming at you with another deck profile today, featuring the structure deck that was just released for Devastator. So before I get into the deck profile, I would like to showcase this structure deck seal that I have here that I am giving away. All you need to do to win this giveaway is to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment your favorite combiner down below. Your combiner choices being of the 7 now with the Constructicons, Aerial Bots, Dinobots, Dreadwing, Predacons, the Sentinels, and Stunticons, and then of course again the Constructicons who were just released today. So with that being said, again, just like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your favorite combiner team down below, and I will be picking a winner sometime this next week, probably maybe next Wednesday. Give everyone enough time to enter. I'll find the winner and contact you and get your information so I can send the structure deck to you. And without further ado, jumping right into the deck profile, we have Devastator, and his main goal is to get counters on your tower. The tower is something that you start with at the beginning of the game with Scrapper, and the tower reads, you use this helper card to track the number of height counters on your tower. This starts in your KO area with 1 height counter on it, and your cards can add more. The higher your tower, the more powerful your Devastator becomes. So that's what the name of the game is. All of your entire team helps you get counters on your tower. There are a couple of support cards in the deck, in the battle deck, that help you get counters on your tower, and flipping them over to talk about them for a hot second. This deck is heavier slanted towards orange. It's pretty much a mixed deck. It's my first time actually playing a mixed deck. Normally when I play decks, they're heavier blue or heavier orange. This is unnecessary to play a little bit of both to try to put some damage out there. So of course we have Scrapper here, who in alt mode, when you begin the game, you start with the tower in your scrap pile and with 1 height counter on it. So you're ahead by, or you had not ahead, but you start with at least 1, and you need to get at least 9 more so you can have a Devastator. And I need to reverse just a little bit. Let's talk about him a little bit more. So the main reason why we were playing this is he has something interesting that goes on once he combines. When he does combine, you are able to heal 1 damage for each counter on your tower. So the idea is to get to 10 because when he has at least 6 counters on the tower, he has a bold 2, and when he has 10 counters on the tower, he is a base 10 attack. 10 attacks, you know, the highest in the game after or before Optimus, next to Optimus Maximus, excuse me, who has 9. Assuming that you get to the 10 counters on your tower. And again, that's the name of the game, so we're going to try to get there before we combine. Now, flipping these back over again, my deck is heavier slanted towards orange. The only effects that are relevant of any of these other 5 bots in bot mode are Long Haul, because he has Bold 1. You have Bone Crusher, who has Pierce 2, and Hook, who has Pierce 1. The other 2 is Scavenger, who has Tough 1, and then Mixed Master, who doesn't have a effect at all in bot mode. But these 5 in alt mode, what happens is whenever they attack, you're able to scrap a card from your hand to put a height counter on your tower. So again, that's the name of the game. We're trying to get to 10, so that's the idea. So right off the bat, it seems like this deck would love draw power, to be able to have a card in your hand to always be able to discard. It is ideal, or it is a thing to possibly, it is an option rather to possibly just discard every card you get to, you know, put a counter on your tower. But you want to still at least have something else to do besides just, you know, scrapping cards from your hand, because I don't think every single time you attack you'll be attacking with every single one of them in alt mode. Sometimes it might be relevant to flip Bone Crusher and get that Pierce 2, or Hook to get that Pierce 1, and then of course you have Long Haul, who has Bold 1, that could possibly get you some decent damage. You've by now all seen what Razor Claw can do. Razor Claw can get some pretty high damage, being with his effect he has a Bold 1. Yeah, they're small, but you know, just give them some upgrades, and all of a sudden they're at 11 and 12, and you're like, well, okay, he just KO'd my bot. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into the deck profile real quick. Give you a quick rundown. Most of it's 3 of, so it'd be a lot easier to run through. A lot of this is theory. Some of this is tested. Tested in proxy. I just proxy a lot of these cards. They were easy to proxy, most of them, because I already had most of the cards anyway to playtest. But through a couple through playtesting, there were a couple things I already saw some flaws in the deck, and then some things I wanted to fix, and so I'll jump into that. So to start off, we have 3 of the card that you need to combine into Devastator in the first place, the Constructicon Enigma. While Devastator is on the field, you are able to heal him for 1 and put a high counter on your tower. So if you unfortunately weren't able to get to 10 counters in your tower before you were able to combine, this will get you there and get you closer anyway to getting that 10. So your Devastator has that base 10 attack. you'll at least probably be at 6. So you'll have that bull too, but at least now you'll definitely have that 10 base attack, and he's really hitting ridiculously hard. I'm also playing 3 of these instead of 2 like you see in most combiner lists because espionage is becoming more popular. Sentinels, with its recent success, has very powerful hand stripping abilities, so I want to be able to play 3, so hopefully on defense I can see one of these, and that way my opponent can't do anything about it, and I'll be able to combine. And then of course early game, when you see any of these, you don't mind pitching these at all for your Constructicon effects, because early game you're not combining until turn 6 minimum. So throughout cycling your deck throughout the game, since you reshuffle, you'll be able to see one of these soon enough, so you'll be able to combine when the time is right. Moving on, we have Heavy Landing. This is one of the new cards exclusively out of the structure deck. You deal 1 damage to an enemy, so it's a blue zap. And then while you have 6 or more counters on your tower, you are able to deal 3 damage to an enemy instead. So a Plasma Burst that deals 1 extra damage to an enemy is always nice. Early game, you will probably discard this because your tower won't be at 6 for a decent while. So this is a good mid to late game card. Early game, it's subpar, but it still does something. That 1 damage could always just get you there and KO that bot that you don't have to waste an attack on, and so on and so forth. One of the other new cards out of the set, we have 3 Reclaim. This card lets you take a upgrade from your scrap pile and set it on top of your deck. And if you have 3 or more counters on your tower, you may just draw a card. So you essentially just add the card from your scrap pile to your hand, which is nice. So I have a lot of decent upgrades that I would really like to see. If my opponent got rid of them early, I can easily just get them back with this card. And I think it's a nice addition. This card also will be seeing play, I'm sure, soon in a lot of other decks, especially like the Starscream deck. Starscream would love to put Decepticon Crown on top of the deck. But that's another deck profile for another time. Moving on, another 3 of, I think the most sought after 3 of in the structure deck. I know a lot of people are actually buying the structure decks specifically just for this card, so they're spending $20 just for some more growth times, but it might be worth it because the card is very good. It's a white icon action that lets you, if you have 4 or less cards in your hand, you may draw cards until you have 4. Now, just gonna specifically talk about this deck. It works great in this deck clearly because when you scrap cards from your hand, you have less of a hand size, and then this card will let you work back up to at least replenish your hand up to 4, so you have more cards to discard. So, very solid card. Looking forward to playtesting that and seeing how it goes. Another card that I'm playing 3 of is 3 Treasure Hunt. I'm playing 21 actions and 19 upgrades. So possibly hitting 2 or more upgrades is always nice, just to be able to pretty much replenish your hand, or even possibly play one of those upgrades to get some decent damage in, and have more fodder to tribute for you. Here I go talking Yu-Gi-Oh again. You gotta have to forgive me for that. But more fodder to discard to your scrap pile to put more counters on your tower. And another 3 of them I'm playing is 3 The Bigger They Are. Every one of them except for Scrapper, or the leader, is 5-star, or excuse me, it's 4 stars. So even on a Flame War, this is actually very relevant. You know how good Flame War is and that tough. So this will guarantee that 4 damage. There's one of them that has Pierce 2, and I'd rather just, let me look real quick. Scavenger, no. Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher has 3 attack, 4 health, and 1 defense. If you put The Bigger They Are with him, he'll be a 5 Pierce 6, but of course you only deal 5 if he only has 5 attack at the end of the your flip checks. But yeah, if you hit an orange, he's a 6 Pierce 6. So getting in 6 damage is very relevant and can get you there against a lot of threats, and possibly KO those characters and get those problems out the way. So yeah, 3 The Bigger They Are. This was going to be a reckless charge because all of your guys at least will live with 1 health, but this isn't like a super aggressive deck in the first place, and I think this is just more relevant, and then it'll help on defense, especially when Devastator comes out. So again, this is just a lot of this is theory, some of this makes sense, some of it is just testing to see what happens. But moving on, 2 Ramming Speed. Ramming Speed, of course, this card is always great utility to be able to get rid of your opponent's upgrades that are problems, like Starscream's Mining Pick or his Security Console, or any problem armor, so you can try to pierce, or excuse me, get through and get some damage in before you combine. And then I'm playing a 1 of Space Issues is the main reason, but one shall stand, one shall fall. Again, like I was talking about with Reckless Charge, all of your guys will live by 1 at least when you do this. And you don't care that they die, even more than like bugs don't care if they die in the Decepticon deck, because Scrapper will get you counters on your tower. And that's what you want to try to build a 10. And reverse it a little bit to talk about Scrapper. I don't know if you guys read it wrong like I did, but it just dawned on me today after, you know, having the card in my hand specifically instead of reading it on the computer, that it says when this or one of your other Constructicons is KO'd while this is in your battlefield, excuse me, this is on the battlefield or in your KO area, put a height counter on your tower. I thought that he had to be on the battlefield. So if he were to die, let's say I go Optimus and attack him first turn and he gets KO'd. Even while he's in a KO pile, your first turn literally will 100% always be to flip Scrapper. Because then for the rest of the game, as your other guys get KO'd, you put more counters on your tower. Again, that's what you want to do to get to 10 so your Devastator is at full power. So I thought, again, that this had to be on the battlefield in order to generate counters, but that's not the case. Reading it again a million times, now I see that it doesn't matter where he is. You're able to get a free counter on your tower whenever one of your guys die. Moving on to the weapons, that's it for the actions. That rounds out to the 21 actions total. Moving on to the upgrades, my first set I'm going to talk about the weapons is Grenade Launcher. Grenade Launcher can help get some decent damage on any of your characters. They are small, but they can, you know, getting any of them from 3 to 7 or 2 to 6 plus your flips will definitely do some decent amount of damage onto your opponent. This is a heavier slanted orange deck. Again, this is more mixed, but it has, I think, maybe 10 blues total in here. So Grenade Launcher, not too much more to say about it, but that card is always great. And then we have 3 Erratic Lighting. So the -1 defense doesn't matter because, again, they all get, you know, KO'd by a pillow. So they're that small, and plus the 3 attack is okay. Excuse me, my words are all broken up. Excuse me here. I need to drink some water. Let me pause for a second. Okay. So the fact that they all have weak health and their defense, like a lot of these guys only have 1 defense or 0 defense, that it doesn't matter, you know, because again, you don't care about them getting KO'd. The whole point is just try to get some type of damage in before they do get KO'd. And then to round out my last weapon, my 7th weapon is Scoundrel's Blaster. It is a blue, rounding out my blues. I think that's 10 blues now. This is just that guaranteed weapon. If I don't get any other weapon throughout the game, at least I'll know I can always rely on at least having this. Of course, against Autobots, it's relevant to have that Pierce too. It could come up, so on and so forth. Moving on to the armors, we have 3 Improvised Shields. Solely for the double icon. I possibly may actually play this for its tough because I am playing a fourth of my deck are blues. It's still probably going to be rare that I equip this, but it's a possibility because, again, I'm playing so many blues. But for the most part, it is in here for this double icon to at least get some type of extra damage in, or, you know, push some type of threatening damage in to push you towards victory. I'm not playing Peace Through Tyranny because Devastator is the only one that I can use Peace Through Tyranny on, and of course, if you use it on Devastator, you lose the game. So yeah, you have to use Peace Through Tyranny on a level on a 6-star or higher, I want to say. So that's I would if I were to use it in this deck, it'd solely be for the double orange icons, and space is an issue, so there's no way I'm going to be able to fit that card in here. I could possibly even cut these, but I'm going to test it and see how it goes. I want to take advantage of Devastator's Bold 2, so at least when I flip these, it's nice to just get his attack even higher. You know, he's already a 10 base attack. If you have this plus a Erratic Lighting or Scoundrel's Blaster, and then you flip one of these and you know more orange, he's definitely hitting for some high numbers. Moving on with my weapons, my armors, I have 2 Force Field and 1 Bashing Shield. I think Force Field, actually, it's funny how metas work out. It's like Bashing Shield came in and ruined armors. Well, then people are going to stop playing armor, so Bashing Shield becomes worse. So now you have these Bashing Shields in your deck that you always just don't get because armors are becoming worse. So then that makes armors good again, and then Bashing Shield comes back again. It's like a cycle. So at the same time, the thing is, since they already die easily, your opponent's probably not going to bother getting their Bashing Shields. They're probably worried about other more important things. But one of the biggest things about this deck that makes it different to play, that I think it's worth playing, is the fact that Devastator heals for 10. So when he heals for 10, even if your Scrapper or your last guy was at 1 and you combine, you're hopefully ideally at, healing for at least 10, which means that this force field is live now. So depending on the state of the game, they probably never got one of those bashing shields, and they have to find one soon, or you know, Devastator's going in, and then when you come back at them, I have the force field, and I'm only taking 4. So you still have to have the answer for it. If you play an armor that turn, that means you're not playing a weapon like grenade launcher or something more ridiculous to possibly wipe me out. So I'm probably not necessarily worried about it, but it's a high risk, high reward type thing. And well, I don't want to say high risk, high reward. It's one of those, like I said, it's a very card that you have to play technically now. You can't just like play it on one of your other guys and let it sit there, because then when they finally do come into a bashing shield, they will use it. Possibly you want to use it on the turn, like, you know, for a guy they have, like, you know, on Devastator himself, obviously they have to attack him, but you may or may not put it on one of your guys earlier that can live through it, and so they can get another round of attacks. So. And then again, a lot of this is all theory. I might end up taking them out, you know, for more bashing shields or whatever. But and then of course, let me talk about the one bashing shield in here. It is just to help get rid of problem armors, possibly to, especially when I have multiple guys attacking. I am playing 6 wide, so I will have multiple attacks, more attacks than any other team in the game right now. 6 wide being our first, you know, our largest team so far. So yeah, taking the one bashing shield for now, and then moving on to the utilities. Dropping cards over here. 3 Data Bank card I never thought I'd play. I saw this card when I first started playing the game, thought it was good, understood why it wasn't as good, and haven't played it since. Especially with the decks I was playing, you know, the 3 White Optimus deck and all that stuff. So definitely didn't need this card at the time. But I think this card is very relevant, especially in this deck, because, you know, again, you lose cards pretty fast. So this card guarantees you to have a card every time you attack, at least, you know. So playing 3 Data Bank. And also playing 3 Builder's Tools. This is the last of the exclusive cards, being the only upgrade of them all. It's orange. It gives no attack or defense boost, but you can only put on the Constructicons. And whenever the upgraded character attacks, you may put a height counter on your tower. So if you attack with one of your guys in alt mode, you scrap a card from your hand to put a height counter on your tower, and then you also get a free height counter on your tower from this. So on a turn where you attack, you put a height counter on your tower from attacking, and from this, that's 2. And then let's say they attack you and your guy dies, that's 3. So you're really generating height counters very fast and getting to that 10, which is where you want to be. So with that being said, I will end the deck profile there. This is my first initial build. It seems like a good place to start. I will be trying to get a game or 2 with this on screen so you guys can see some gameplay. And if you guys are interested in getting into the deck, you can. So I hope you guys liked the video. Again, if you like this, if you like my content in general, please show some love and like and subscribe to the channel. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Check out all my other videos. I'll have more videos to come. If you would like this Devastator structure deck, I am doing a giveaway starting now as you see this video, all the way up to probably about next Wednesday. Just like the video, comment on the video, and tell me your favorite combiner thus far. If you say Sentinels, I'll probably slant this and probably pick you. I'm joking, because that's my favorite combiner. But shout out to Optimus Maximus. But yeah, so like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your favorite combiner. And I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. All right, that's Dr. Kuma 1921's out. Peace.